In this video, I want to talk about variables and common rules. Variables, something that's new for you in things that are old. In common rules like perimeter of a square, perimeter of a rectangle, things that you already know. Let's bring this new idea in them. Now, why should we do this? We're doing this because variables can be a little hard to understand or use at first. I in fact remember being in school and being afraid of these things because till 5th standard, I think, my book was filled with beautiful numbers, 5, 10, 15, or maybe even big numbers, but nothing was very scary. And all of a sudden, I remember my book being filled with alphabets, X, Y, and X, Y squared, Z, or something like that. And I began to get a little scared. If I see a page which has only these kind of alphabets in it, maybe all written all over the page, then I won't even feel like reading that page. And then I learned that these alphabets, in math, when we use them, they're used as variables. And so that's a word that I learned. Variables. And it took me some time to understand that variable is just a big word. This word variable is just a big word for saying any number. Any number. So the best way to understand why a variable means any number is to look at examples. Let's look at that. The first example we look at is that of perimeter of a square. Perimeter of a square. And to do this, let's imagine that you own a fence shop in a village. I'm going to imagine when you'll want to use variables. So let's say you own this fence shop, and then people come to you and they want fences. And they say, the first person comes to you and says, I have a field of side, it's a square field of side 5 meters. And you say, okay, the fence length you need is 5, 5, 5, 5, 4 5s or 4 into 5 meters. And he's happy, you give him 20 meters of fence and they go away. The next person comes to you and they say, I have a field of size 7 meters. And it's also a square. How much do I need? And you say, okay, 7 doesn't matter. It's 4 times 7. 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. Another person comes to you and then now you're beginning to get a little tired because this is happening over months and months. He tells you have 27 meters. And you say, it does not matter again. What your length is does not matter. It will still be 4 times 27. That's the amount of fence you need. So after doing this for a while, maybe you get like really lazy to do all these calculations. So you tell him, hey, listen, I do not care what the size of your field is. It can be any length. Any length. Does not matter. As long as it's a square, just do one thing. Just take 4 and multiply it with your any length and tell me how much fence you want. Don't keep asking me. So 4 into any length, you know, is going to give you your perimeter, which is the length of the fence you need. Perimeter is just another word for how much fence length you need. So you can see that whether it's 4 into 5 or 4 into 7 or 4 into 27 does not really matter. So 4 times any length is perimeter, and maybe after some time you get a little lazy to write this down. So you write 4 into L. And what does this L really stand for? Any length equals perimeter. And you want to write P because perimeter is too long. So this looks much smaller, crisp and easy to write. A long sentence in English. If you have a square field and if its length is anything, it does not matter. Just multiply that with 4 and you'll get the amount of fence length or perimeter you need. Look at the length of that sentence, and that much has been compressed, made small into this sentence over here. If you write it like this, then you're using what's called a variable. Now, why are you using this variable? Because it's easier than telling this big sentence. And what does this variable really stand for? Just any length. L here just stands for a square's length, which can be any length. This still works. And P stands for the perimeter of that square. Now I want you to try and do the same thing for a rectangular field. If the field was a rectangle, can you write what the perimeter will be in variables?